This video is gonna get the least amount of views of any of my recent videos. It's not as sexy as reviewing gear. It's not as fun as being out on the course. But in my opinion, this is the most vital piece of what I do to improve, and I think is the easiest, most low-hanging fruit way to make your golf life better and also make your life as a human better at the same time. And that is physical fitness and its relation to golf. Now I'm gonna take you through my off-season workout plan right now, but I just wanna give you guys some insight as to why this is so important and what I've learned over the past 5 years of doing this and how it has transformed my game and my life. So the first things first is one of the purposes of golf for me is to mindfuck myself into working out. Previous to all this, I did not work out a ton for a long time because of my music career. I spent all my time in the studio. I neglected working out and personal fitness. Through doing golf, I use it as a way to force myself to work out and incentivize myself to work out. I found that working out for pure vanity purposes or even just for the health benefits just doesn't get me fired up enough to work out as often and as hard as I need to. But for golf, I want to hit the ball a certain way. I want to be able to hit certain shots. I want to be able to experience the game a certain way. I work out an insane amount to accomplish those things, and it has been transformative to my life. So one way to add working out into your life is just to maybe mindfuck yourself into the reason why you do it. Like, I'm not gonna walk 10,000 steps a day casually or go for a run or even work out as hard as I do in the gym. But put me on a golf course and I will walk forever with a golf bag on my back. So just keep that in mind. I think this game can be a good vehicle to optimize your body, because one of the beautiful things about golf that I learned is that it exposes your body's inefficiencies to move. And the more you optimize your body and fix the things in your body, it actually translates into better golf. So for me, I had shoulder issues, I had some hip issues, I had back issues from all my years of sitting in front of a computer for hours upon hours, okay? I've been able to fix myself of all those things because in order for me to play better golf, I can't have those things exist. So that has been massive life benefit to working out and a big reason why I'm a huge proponent of golf fitness. Now, off season 5, what are we doing to get just dialed in the gym to make ourselves a better golfer? So first thing, we need a little bit of context. Let's go back to April when I started the swing teardown. I went and saw Matt, my trainer, to do an assessment, and one of the big key learnings, and this is, I talked about this in the podcast I dropped at the time, was just I had some missing information gaps in my own knowledge of what I needed to do within the swing physically. And Matt has been able to address those things, and we have been working nonstop since then to address that. And so it really came down to two areas. One, my overall strength was actually quite poor. One of the things I learned through going to see Ryan Hawley and doing the ground force assessments was that I'm really good at using my frame. I'm not a super big dude, but I'm able to get the most out of my frame, which is why I've always been able to kind of hit it far and swing pretty fast. The issue I had was I honestly wasn't very strong. I was actually quite weak. So I'm able to use a lot of my force, but controlling that force and allocating it the right way was very poor, which is why you guys would see me swing very erratically. The other piece to all this was that my hips were just wrecked. I did not have actually good hip function. Despite how much I had personally worked on that area, it didn't work. It was not helpful. And so I really struggled with that area, and as a result, my turn in my backswing and my ability to extend through impact was very impeded. And that's obvious here. I'm gonna show you two swings right now. I'll show you April, May swing right here, and then I'm gonna show you a swing from right now. And as you're gonna see, my ability to turn and push is happening totally naturally now without my conscious thought of me having to do it, simply because I'm syncing up my body and going. Another big piece, and this has been through Ryan's coaching, has been structure and connection in my swing. So my swing used to be very armsy. I used to have a very narrow takeaway, and then I would throw, okay? Very poor. With Ryan, we are extremely structured and connected, and through impact, I'm working on holding that connection and releasing. In order to keep the face square and be able to hit kind of pro level shots, I need to make that happen. That, for me, requires a significant amount of gym time to build in that strength. I had to build in a lot of rear delt and arm things, basically revamp my posterior chain, all of that. So, how did we do this and how are we doing this? Step one, every workout I do starts with a shoulder mobility routine. Then Matt and I go into some strength stuff, which will either be a deadlift, a squat, a bench press, something that is like we're trying to push weight and we're trying to lift heavy. I'm now at the point where I'm squatting about 200 pounds and I can deadlift 200 pounds, which is a massive leap from where I was at the beginning of this. I could not even remotely get close to this. I'm actually become kind of addicted to doing those workouts, specifically deadlifts. I find what that does for how I feel, not only just as a human existing through life, but also within my golf game. Like if I don't deadlift every 3 days, I don't feel right. You know, I need to, at least once a week I gotta hit it, but if I can hit it like twice a week, that's like the ideal sweet spot of like deadlift and squatting and really putting my legs and my posterior chain through the ringer. Then my workouts jump into some sort of CrossFit style circuit, whether it's an AMRAP, which is as many reps as you can, or you know, we'll do different circuits. Matt always kind of pushes me to the limit of what I can do. And this has been, again, transformative for my strength and my power, but also for my mental game, because those workouts are very hard. Like when you have a 15-minute AMRAP where you have to basically do as many reps as possible, you just have to hammer through those 15 minutes, and by minute 8, you are dying. And there's no limit on the rounds, right? So you just keep going through the circuit until you finish. When you have something that's like 5 rounds, it's a little easier because each round you're like knocking something off. You're like, okay, one less, one less, one less. When you have an AMRAP, it's like you just gotta keep going. So every workout is that structure with Matt and I. It is the shoulders, strength component, and then the CrossFit style circuit at the end. I am completely dead at the end, okay? But I feel phenomenal. Then on my days off, I do my own versions of those workouts, and I'll do just strength days, and some days I'll even incorporate my own circuit. I've stopped doing plyometrics for now because I've had something go weird in my left ankle doing some of the plyos, and so I just don't want to deal with that because I don't want anything to get in the way of what we're doing this off season. I'm pairing that with an aggressive eating schedule right now. I'm trying to get to 180 pounds. I did a huge bulk a couple years ago, got up to 190. That were the highest ball speeds and swing speeds I got to. And I think for me, sitting at like 180, 182 would be phenomenal. I'm about 176, 177 right now, depending on the day. So I'm up from where I was. Started this at about 170, 172. I had to dial in some health things in order to be able to gradually bulk without causing any issues. And so far everything looks good, happy days. So we're slowly building ourselves up to get to there. And I think if I can live at like 180, 182, maybe even as high as 185, that would be ideal. That's how we're living. All my workouts are tailored towards being stronger and being better. The reason why this is so important and why this is such a big piece to what I do, and again, this is going to get no views. I understand this will be a very low performing video, but the only way for me to get to a professional level swing is to be this militant in the gym. Like all the technique work I can do, all those things I'm doing with my coach are great, but I can only maintain them and improve upon them if I hit the gym and get my body in position to execute that over and over and over and over and over at a high level. And so right now what you guys are seeing is that actually, like if you look at my simulator numbers, my ball speeds aren't very high. I'm probably 165 to 170 ball speed, right? But my dispersion is way better. My control is way better because I'm not flailing. My balance is way better. I'm not spinning out of swings anymore. Well, sometimes I do, but not nearly as often as I was. And all of that is coming from strength increases, because I don't have an issue of exerting force through my frame. I have an issue of controlling that force. And so all of these workouts have been tailored to maximize that capability. And now that's why you're seeing with my irons in particular, the window in front of me and how I'm able to hit is so much better, because I'm not like having to swing out of my shoes on a 4-iron, right? I can hit these kind of controlled shots. And also, where fitness plays a huge role, and I think this is massively underrated, is that your ability to hold your core when you chip and putt is a massive, massive underrated aspect. Even with putting, right? Ryan and I did a force plate test. If you change your pressure during your putt of more than 4% back to front, that changes your attack angle on your putt. So you have to be able to hold your core and putt and be able to rock that motion. I think a big reason why you're seeing my chipping, my wedges, and everything improve is a result of my ability to control my body and control my tempo. Because historically, what you guys saw from my wedges being poor and all of these things, on top of the technique issues I had, was that I only had one speed. I only knew how to throw everything at the ball. I didn't know how to separate and hold and be graceful and have the strength to speed up and slow down and manipulate my tempo. All of that comes from the gym. And so, to be frank, you are deluding yourself into thinking you are going to get better at golf without doing this portion. And again, this is going to be one of my lowest viewed videos, but it's so important. I'm going to keep making these fitness videos because I'm a firm believer that there is nothing else you can do that will give you as big of an impact as getting in the gym. Before you buy anything, before you do any of those things, I know you guys see me spend money on gear. I know you see me, light a lot of money on fire when it comes to some of the gear aspects, and I get it. But at the same time, I wouldn't feel justified in doing some of those things if I'm not working in the gym to enhance it. And to be honest, I'll even call myself out. There were a lot of stupid things I did and spent money on, and I wasted a lot of money buying pieces of gear to compensate for my lack of strength and things I was not doing in the gym to make myself better. So I'm a firm believer, it's the cheapest way to improve your game is to get in the gym, grind, and make your body better. And honestly, from a longevity and health perspective, as a human, there's every incentive in the world to take care of yourself. So I use golf as a way to mindfuck myself into taking better care of myself. Maybe that might help for you guys. I hope it does. The beautiful thing is too, where we're set up here at Atlas, I have an incredible array of gear to tackle my workouts. So we have full squat rack here, bench press bar, pull-up station, cables. We have a whole dumbbell set, and we have the trap bar deadlift, the hex bar I think it's called. And what's cool with that is you can set up the bar around you and you can squat and then drop it and jump. And you'll see a lot of tour players do that. So that's, as we start getting into force production, we can do landmines here. There's all these things. So I want to do a lot more of this kind of content, even though it is not ROI positive. I think it is very beneficial. Let me know in the comments what workout stuff you'd like to see from me and how I can help you guys better understand this, and I can help maybe convey this, and maybe is there a way I can present this to make it more palatable and make it more engaging so that others take it more seriously, and I think maybe look at this as a better option than spending $1,000 on a driver first. So off-season 5 is in full swing here at Atlas, the best place to train. I appreciate you guys. Like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.